Hi, everybody. Thomas Miller on the Fun Astrology Podcast. Well, let's kick off this third week of April, and we have a couple of prominent things that are going to be taking place this week energetically. Of course, we'll be watching all the mundane stuff, but let's figure out what you and I are going to be going through this week. And we have something that is really obvious in the chart, and it's prominent today because here are the hombres of the week. Almost. A couple of other things going on. But today, and the exact time is 7:30 in the morning Eastern, Saturn and the North Node conjoin. But also, as you can see, Venus is right there along, and just a few degrees away, Neptune, and still within influence at least, Mercury. And I'll show you on Saturday's chart that Mercury leaves its shadow period this week. So Mercury retrograde as of Saturday is officially clear. Blue sky on that all the way through. But there's your team for this week. So we have a contrast, don't we? Venus, Venusian energy, the energy of love and beauty and harmony and things wonderful. And then on the other side of that is Saturn with its Lord Karma, and that we're going to be facing things, and that is illustrated and emphasized by the fact that the North Node of the Moon, our cosmic compass guide, if you will, is right there in between them. And all of this is in Pisces. So what should you and I consider as these aspects play out this week? Well, one of the things that we can emphasize for ourselves this week, because Venus is at its best this week, moves into Aries on Wednesday of next week. Saturn moves out on May 24th. So this is it, guys. This is it for this beautiful Piscean energy. So one of the things this week is just to imprint, like what we were doing during the March Funness, if you played around with that, and some of the things that we focused on there of tuning in to our soul in a way that's not going to be available to us again in our lifetimes. This energy has been really special. And it's going to change. And life does change. And we follow the planets through the sky. And that's what we're going to be doing with this big shift into Aries. So for us who are trying to live on our highest timeline, I think that the thing that we tune into right now is not only what we love, what does our spirit love, what ignites us from a soul perspective. We are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience, and that's something to not forget. So one thing we can do is tune into our heart. I think the other thing is, with Saturn there, is to be thinking about the structure of what we're going to be doing spiritually going forward, because this is all going to be shifting. So for a lot of us, we're going to be shifting into new realities, new dynamics, new evaluations of what am I doing anyway? I think these questions have been buzzing through our heads here over the last several months, and now it's coming to a tipping point. This is the week of culmination for all of that we've been considering, and with some confusion. If you're like me, you're like, I kind of see part of it, but I don't have the whole picture. Well, that's Pisces too, and that's Neptune as well. We'll get it, as I've been saying, more now through action than the meditating side that we've been doing. Not that this isn't the last great week of that energy. And Saturn will move on through, but when Venus clears, then Aries just gets that much stronger. Now, there's another configuration, and we're going to talk about this on the audio podcast on Monday, so I'm not going to go into it as much here. We'll talk about it on Monday, but look at this. I think this is an incredible aspect. So what we were just talking about, all of this, is at the tip of this short pyramid that is part of a kite formation, and actually the kite is still there. You've heard Kristin and me both talking about this on the podcast, that we have a super strong, because pyramids geometrically are incredibly strong. We have a strong connection between Uranus and Pluto And of course, Uranus rules astrology, and Uranus also rules the sign that Pluto is in, Aquarius. So we have this just super extra connection going on between revolutionary, Noel Teal called it bzzzt, right? Bzzzt. That's Uranus. Surprise changes, things unexpected, revolutionary advances forward, technological revolutions. Uranus is getting ready to move into Gemini, so that's going to add a component of transformation around communication, also technology, and even travel and our families. So much of this is going to come under the incredible influence of Pluto, which we just happen to have the moon passing through there here on Monday as we begin the week. But we're also bringing it into that spiritual focus and that shift of energy as we complete things from the 12th house, endings and completions, and we move into the new, fresh start energy of Aries. So for a lot of us, this is putting the past behind, moving forward into the new era, into the new realm of what we're going to be doing, whatever that is, going forward. And there will be clarity. There always is, and we'll have it. But for right now, we're just holding this space of massive transformation, incredible revolutionary new beginnings. So as these things unfold, we'll be anticipating change and we'll be excited about it, even if it gets a little wonky along the way, like it has been lately. There is a little bit of added tension midweek because Pluto, that planet of revolutionary transformation, is also going to be exactly square to the sun. So all of the Pluto characteristics, the power, radical change, even death and rebirth from that perspective, all will be moving toward that through the middle of the week, and then that will crest on Wednesday, and then it will taper off. But that's going to be with us as well all week. The sun, of course, representing you and me individually. Our essence is going to be influenced by this transformational force that's going to be in the sky on Wednesday. So again, what do you do with that? Well, I'll tell you what I've done, because Pluto is so influential in my chart and my whole thing is all about transformation, is I look for it and I anticipate it. And I realize that when a lot of us want to push it away, we don't want to run toward it. We want to run away from it, or we want to hold it like, I don't want to. We don't like change, right? That's so obvious right now. We're seeing that across the whole globe. We don't like fast, rapid change. Well, guess what this chart represents? It represents fast, rapid change. And that's exactly the elements that we just emphasized of Uranus over here, Pluto up here, and that's going to be in a little bit of tense conflict with us, with the essence of us, in Taurus, which wants peace and harmony and stability. And it's going to be a little bit pressed for that. Now let's hop up to Saturday, and I'll show you real quick. Saturday morning, Mercury clears where it was when it went retrograde last. So that's over as of Saturday morning. And then Saturday night, Mars is going to be in this last opposition. We've been talking about this quite a bit on the audio too. It will be opposite Pluto. And there's that conflict that we've been anticipating. We talked about it. It's 3 degrees closer than it was back in December when this first happened. And that was, of course, the United Healthcare CEO situation. So caution through the week, because this is going to be building all week as well. This is the other influence. This is the other energetic influence that we have going on. So the first one is, let's just highlight these again, is we're going to be working on connecting with our heart. And I mean, all of this, we're going to be, see there, Venus by the weekend will have lapped Saturn, staging for its exit on Wednesday. So Venus is closing out, tuning in with your heart, being aware of this positive, very positive, transformational configuration involving Pluto in Aquarius. Aquarius is ruler So as things change, as things surprise us, we'll just realize that this is such a powerful, positive aspect, that everything that's going on is going to be for our good. And then we'll also remember that there's yin yang, there's two sides to every coin, and this side right here has exhibited some conflict in the past. The other positive side of it is that transformation can be very powerful, and it can be very positive, and it can take us in new, different directions that we had not explored before. And with that, combining with the rest of this energy can give us a lot of freedom in the change. Now, Tracy Arnold has some thoughts on how we can tie all of this energy together on our soul journey. Tracy?
Hello, Fun Astrology podcast family. This week, we've reached a soul checkpoint. We're being asked, now that I know who I am, how do I want to live it? How did we get here? Well, we were experiencing the fiery Aries sun encouraging us to have true self knowing. And that was to go beyond the conditioned mindset, to know who we authentically are. And on the 19th, the sun moved into earthy Taurus, where the conversation shifts into harnessing the power of the bull within. And the point of that is so that we can embrace creating steadfast stability and create joy within the simple pleasures of life. We all know right now things are quite chaotic in the world, and we can see it in the astrology. We know that this could kind of be expected. So from the perspective of the evolutionary journey of our soul, as we follow through with the sun going through Aries and into Taurus, it's helping us to know if we did the homework. That fun word, right? If we did the homework while we were in Aries and we went beyond that conditioned mindset, we know who we truly are. We know where we've outgrown certain mindsets and likes and dislikes, and that we would like to shift those things most likely. And now that we're in Taurus, we have the opportunity to ground that, to root that within ourselves, and to live in alignment with that. But the question is, will you do that? Will you rise to that challenge? And now is the point of where you really want to do it, because we've hit a soul checkpoint. We currently have in Pisces this week, and it's been off and on to certain degrees, but we actually hit a point this week, I believe it's on the 22nd, where we have Venus, Saturn, and the North Node all sitting in Pisces at 26 degrees, which is in the chart that I have on this slide. So when you look at it from that perspective, we know that we're dealing with destiny, the North Node, and we have discipline from Saturn, and we have devotion from Venus. Each of them talking about how we are going to move forward. They're contributing their perspective on what we need to be mindful of. So, with the North Node, it's all about where we are moving forward to. What are we moving towards? And that is not always comfortable because it is a place of growth. But if we started in Aries season with doing that true self knowing, now in Taurus, we know what we like, we know what we don't like, we know what we want to start conveying in a different way. And we do have Mercury sitting over there in Aries saying, yeah, it's time for you to speak up. So, we are supposed to be living our authentic self. And this is where this soul checkpoint comes in. You have to pause, take a step back, say, what are the lessons that Saturn has brought to me over the last few years? What has Venus been showing me in terms of my love, my values, creativity, receptivity, and am I being logical about this? Because everything is sitting in Pisces where things can be foggy. They are very intuitive, they are very empathic, and we can be feeling a lot of stuff. and it may not be our own. So we do want to ground within ourselves, get that focus, and allow ourselves the time to visualize, now that I know who I am and everything is aligned and saying now is the time to step into alignment and live to the way I truly am, then this is the time to pause. This is the time to do it. If you've been journaling, go back, take a look at your journals, sit down, listen to a meditation, get some clarity, get grounded, and get into that clear knowing of who you are and how you want to move forward because you're at that soul checkpoint. And this is a moment that is going to change a lot of things for a lot of people. So moving forward, you want to know who you want to be and how you want to show up within this world. Give it some thought, sit with it, do more journaling, and remember to enjoy the journey.